Hi everyone. The game of chess is consist in three stages: the opening, middle game, and end games. Generally, end games are a little bit boring and confusing to study because the less pieces. But you absolutely do end game studies because there are theoretical positions, which means they have already solved, which means that if you are winning a position, you will know how to win that position, and if you are losing, you might know how to draw the position using certain strategies and tricks. In this video, I am going to show you all the basics of rook and pawn endgames. We are going to look at a few theoretical examples that have solutions and concepts already built in, and then at the end we will look at the practical examples. When it comes to the rook endgames, in here I am explaining you rook versus pawn and rook versus pawns. What are the main guidelines? As I said, chapter 1. In the chapter 2, I am explaining here basic principles of rook and pawns. In that section, rook plus pawn versus rook, especially Lucena position and Philidor position, and as well as other cases. And next section, the stronger side has two connected pass pawns, and the other section, the stronger side has two disconnected pass pawns. So stay tuned till the end and learn most important theory in chess games. You may subscribe my channel and click on bell icon to get notification on my next video. Let's start. The endgame of rook versus pawn usually results from a coin race by both sides, where one side has been forced to sacrifice its rook for the enemy pawn. The following guidelines apply to this endgame. To win, both the rook and king must be able to cover some square which the pawn must still cross. In here, this first cross. The second point is to have any drawing chances at all, the defending king must be at least on the fourth rank. Otherwise, the rook decisively cuts the king off from assisting in the further advance of the pawn. The next point is generally the pawn should be advanced ahead of the king. Otherwise, rook will cut the king off. Next point is the rook is usually placed best on the 7th or 8th rank, acting on the rear. Okay, let's come into the position. White on move wins, black on moves draws. Let's see. Here, what got the move? King a5. The only correct move. Since black's king is already on the 4th rank, white rook can't cut it off from assisting the pawn. I think we just learned the guideline, so you should remember that. Let's see what happens without playing king e4, rook g4. Simply pawn push b3 and followed by b2. And rook b8 also wrong. White king must get back toward the b file as quickly as possible. King c4, the position is drawn, as will be shown shortly. Okay, king e5, king c4, king e4. Good move. Just as on the previous move, so also here and on the next move, white moves his king as close as possible to the b pawn while simultaneously containing black's king's freedom as much as possible. Okay, king c3, king e3, b3, now rook c8 check. This check on the file is the key method of forcing black king to give way to white's king when the white king has placed itself opposite to black. Okay, king b2, king d2, king a2. Now rook b8. Pawn got two moves to promote, and meanwhile white king can come close to the b1 square. Here rook b8. Placing the rook immediately in position for stopping the pawn is the most reliable method. However, also winning is e2, king c2 and wins. Here without playing rook b8, let's see king c3, then b2, rook 8 check, king b1, rook b8, a1, king c2 and white wins again. Okay, let's see what happens if the move is for the black. b3, let's check, king a5, king c4, king e4, b2, Rook b8, king c3, king e3, king c2, and draw. Being a tempo ahead of our previous line, black is not forced to blockade his own pawn after c8 check. King don't go b1. King can go b1. King b1 is wrong. Again loses. Same situation. King can't check. King have to go a2 or a3. Restore. Okay. As we have just seen, to hope to draw, the defending king must do two things: assist the pawn's advance and prevent the enemy kings from approaching the pawn. The practical considerations involved are illustrated very well from this diagram at the top of the. This was Sarakain and Buguljo in 1929 World Championship match game 19. Black on move. It is easy to see that white must be significantly better since in short order black will have to give up his rook for the b pawn. There are two different ways for black to play his king: the wrong way and the right way. But unfortunately, the game continuation is the wrong way. Let's see what happens in the game. King g4, b7, f5, b8 queen, rook at b8, rook at b8, f4, king d5. Since white's rook is already ideal placed on the 8th rank, the correct strategy is to bring the king. f3, king e4. To see how undisturbed white's king is in achieving his goal of getting to black's pawn. f2, rook f8, king g3, king e3, black resigns. Here, without in the first variation, let's see, b7, rook b8, white's king also gets back in time after king c7, rook at b7, king at b7, f5, king c6. Got sufficient time to reach the pawn. Okay, here the correct way and sufficient to draw. In the previous question we have discussed this position. The black king should choose his way by blocking enemy kings approaching. So here first move is king e4. Rather than playing g4, king e4 prevent the reaching enemy king to the pawn. b7, same scenario, f5, b8 coin, rook at b8, rook at b8, f4, rook b4 check. Or rook a8 check, king d4. King won't block the pawn's line. Rook f8, king e3, king d5, f3. Same scenario. Okay, yeah, rook without playing rook b4 check, rook b4 check, king e3, king d5, f3, b3 check, king e2. Here king f4 lost because king d4, f2. Now rook b1, king f3, king d3. Can have to go to cover this square, but white king can go to the e2 square and prevent that chance. So here king e2 is the good move. King e4, f2, b2 check, king e1, king e3. Here f1 knight. Black cannot take the queen because if it is a queen, it's checkmate. So you have to be careful even because this kind of situations comes at when you are probably when you are time pressure or when you are totally tired of a game, so that you have to be careful at every move in the endings because there won't be any other chances to recover again. Let's go into the section 2 of this chapter 1, rook versus pawns. When the rook has to cope with 2 or more pawns, the specifics can get rather complicated. An accurate evaluation of each position requires specific attention to the respective king's location, pawn configuration, and rook location. The many variables present make it difficult to generalize, but some generalization is required to make the subject comprehensible. There are several principles will be of help in the evaluation of potential positions and in providing the basic direction of indicated play. Okay. As a very broad generalization, if the strong side's king is near the pawns, he wins against 2 pawns and draws against 3 or 4 pawns. The second one is 2 or more pawns win if they are well advanced and their king can assist them and if the enemy king is away. And the next guideline is 2 connected pass pawns in the absence of kings win if both are at least on the 6th rank, but otherwise lose. The next point is against 3 connected pawns, the rook wins if its king is near and the pawns are no further advanced than the 4th rank. Remember that the rook wins if its king is near and the pawns are no further advanced than the 4th rank. One pawn on the 6th gives good drawing chances and a pawn on the 7th forces the opponent to go for the draw. Next point is connected pass pawns are much stronger than disconnected pass pawns. In coping with disconnected pawns, the rook should first play against the pawn whose advance is supported by the king. In all cases, both kings want to head for the pawns. The pawns need the help of their king to advance, while the enemy king wants to get in front of the pawns to stop them. The next point is for stopping pawns, the rook is often most effective on the first rank. The final point is if the side with the rook also has a pawn, this increases its chances significantly because the pawn can usually be transferred into decisive pass pawn. Okay, consider various rook versus multiple pawn endgames. The one of greatest practical importance is rook versus 2 connected pass pawns. It usually results from a queen in race where one side has given up its rook for the enemy pawn. The kind of practical situation that comes up often shown in the diagram. Okay, here white pawns are well advanced and can be supported by the king, while black's king is far away. Therefore, it is easy enough to conclude that white is better. But can he win? He can, yes. If he can get his g-pawn going as soon as possible, the correct and winning way is simply king h4. King c4, king is trying to coming to the pawns. King h5, king d5, g6, king a6, g7, okay, 8, h7, and white wins. The play, I think, rather straightforward. Do not how the presence of the Viking unleashed the dynamic power of the connected pass pawn. However, White in fact did not win the game. The actual game continuation was here King f4. Instead of maximizing the power of his pawns, White gives his top priority to containing Black's king. Since this cannot be done, the whole approach is unsuccessful. You have to be careful when you are playing, when you are applying theory. You can cope with other positions. Okay, king f4. Instead of maximizing the power of his pawns, White gives top priority to containing Black's kings. That is wrong approach. Since this cannot be done, the whole approach is unsuccessful. King c4. Let's see. King a5. Tricky would have been king f5. Sorry, here the move is king a5. Tricky would have been king f5. Since then the obvious king d5. Let's see king f5. King d5. g6. g6. Rook at h6. g7. Without playing king d5, the move should be rook f8 check to force white kings to inferior square. After both king e6, rook h8, and if king goes g4, king d5, g6, king e6. Now black is safe. So king a4, king c4, king e5, king e5. The black's move is king d3. Sneaking behind white's pawns is often an effective way to activate the defender's king. In this case, however, the routine is king c5, also draws king f6, king d6, king g7, rook a8, 7, king e6, h8 coin, rook cut h8, king cut h8, king f5. This pawn is danger. So here, without playing king c5, let's see king d3, king f6, king e4, king g7, same playing style, rook a8, h7, king f5, g6, king g5. Once the pawn goes there, rook takes, king will go, the position will end up with king h8 and this pawn will be hanging. Remember that when you are using theories, you have to clearly identify where you should apply. Perhaps if you got confusion, definitely you will miss the opportunities that you have. Okay, let's move into the chapter 2. So you may watch the part 2 of this session, which will be uploaded within a week time. On that lesson, I will teach you the most important rook endings such as Lucena position, Philidor position and other cases of rook plus pawn versus rook. And the strong side has two connected pass pawns as well as the strong side has two disconnected pass pawns. So stay in touch with subscribing this channel, and if you need more lessons or classified lessons, you may send me a mail or comment in comment section. Have a great day. See you again.